The nonstop media narrative right now is that teenagers are finally going to get gun control laws passed in America. These teens are going to get done with the dumb adults and politicians just refuse to do. Well, there's more to this story. For conservatives, even a hint of criticism at this national moment is a lose-lose situation. But let's be really clear. If you are mocking the teenagers, and especially the teenagers from Parkland, Florida, and what they're doing, it's moronic. Stop it. Stop. Let's talk about the whole movement here. Kids want new gun control laws, and that's because they're reeling from the horrific murders at their school. Natural reaction. They're venting. And the momentum of their emotions is taking them to Tallahassee and Washington, D.C. to demand that lawmakers act. It's just what teenagers do, especially when they're being exploited. The criticism of this is aimed at the ridiculous exploitation of these teenagers and their grief by the mainstream media and now Hollywood. They can't get enough of the teens' emotional appeals for gun controls. The media cannot stop gushing about the urgency and civic engagement of these teens. But they're only interested in the right kind of activism. They don't care that last month thousands of teenagers participated in the March for Life in Washington. What was the difference? Those were teenagers marching for the protection of children. What's the difference here? We all know the difference. The disgusting part of this scene is not the teenagers chanting for stricter gun control. They're exercising their First Amendment right. It's the mainstream media that is cheering and urging them on so they can continue exploiting their tears. They're cheering for them because they see these teenagers as their avenue to accomplish a key part of the left's controlling agenda. And because the cameras are still rolling, it further inflames the rhetoric, and the teams feel validated and empowered, and they want to keep it going. And now in comes Steven Spielberg and the Hollywood horde. He's going to pay for all of it. He's going to make sure that they get there. And who's organizing it? The Women's March organizers. My gosh, this sounds totally grassroots. The media is starry-eyed over the upcoming March for Our Lives in Washington, D.C. They're going to cover it. They're going to cover it wall to wall. And they're never going to find anything at all wrong with it. Then there's the National School Walkout organized by the Women's March. No agenda there, except love for everybody. Well, except for love for NRA members, conservatives, men, anyone who disagrees with them. Look, America wants to talk about solutions, so let's talk about solutions. Let's have the conversation the teens are calling for. Let's figure out ways that we can act right now to protect our children before more are killed. The media coverage of these protests is a one-sided conversation, and the left wants to keep it that way. Has anyone suggested to these teens that more gun control will not guarantee their safety? Have they considered that? This is a good opportunity for teenagers to get a reasoned perspective other than the media's single talking point. For starters, here it is. Progressivism tries to convince you that everything good for you, everything that will protect you, comes from the government. That is a lie.